Okay, welcome to this A-level EdXL uh, Unit 4A Religious Studies Buddhism, uh, Lesson 2, the religious background of the Buddha. Now, I want to focus in on what comes a bit later, but it gives us some insight. The Buddha's criticism of Hindu religion, or better, Brahmanism. He had some really cutting criticisms. What were they? They are directed specifically at Vedic religion, although there were, and we're going to look at the next video on different religious groups. They were general criticisms, perhaps of all religions, that maybe they get stale, maybe challenged, maybe revived. So here we have the rebel saint, the Buddha as a rebel saint, and it picks up some ideas from Smith and Noviak in their book Buddhism, A Concise Introduction, Chapter 3. You really should read. Here we go then, some of his criticisms according to Smith and Novak. Well, first of all, the problem of authority. Many people are relying on experts, such as Brahmin priests, and on some of the leaders of the Shramana movement. This is the other people we'll talk about in a minute, to tell them what they need to be done, even to do it for them. And the problem is the Brahmins kept knowledge of religious rituals and prayers to themselves, and they charged really high prices to carry out rituals and to fulfill religious obligations on other people's behalf. Smith reports Buddha saying, do not accept what you hear by report. Do not accept tradition. Do not accept a statement because it is found in our books, nor because it is in accord with your belief, nor because it is saying of your teacher, be lamps until yourselves. And that's directly in the context of his criticism of Brahmanism and the abuse, perhaps, of authority. Second of our 6 criticisms from Smith and Noviak is ritual. The Brahmin rituals had become mechanical, a means of getting what you wanted from the gods by appeasing them. The Buddha argued that the gods were not capable of giving us the most important gift, the gift of enlightenment, because they didn't have it themselves. They were bound to birth, death, and rebirth. He says the belief in the efficacy of rites and ceremonies is a fetter that binds the human spirit to suffering. So authority, ritual. A third of the 6th criticisms is speculation. Other people wanted to know why religious rituals worked, what was behind them. So there's much speculation about the real nature of the gods, the human soul, etc. The Buddha refused to answer such speculative questions when asked of him. He insisted that he had only one interest, to find and teach the way to stop suffering. It's a therapeutic or a pragmatic question, the only one he thinks worth asking. He expresses this attitude in the parable of the poisoned arrow. Fourth of our 6 criticisms is the criticism of tradition. Brahman insisted there were ancient rituals that must always be done in the same way, using the same language, which most people just couldn't understand. The Buddha taught vernacular, quite Protestant in a way. He insisted that people should find out what worked for them in religion, not blindly follow the way things were done in the past. Fifth of our 6th criticisms is the idea, perhaps, of Smith and Noviak, call it God's grace, or maybe better, fatalism. People were beginning to want to escape from the cycle of life and death, but most thought only Brahman could achieve that. The rest must accept their lives and make the best of them, and their hope for a better life. Some of the other groups, the Shramana groups, taught that nothing we can do will make a difference to our fate. I'll learn about them in a minute. The Buddha taught that each of us can change our own lives and achieve enlightenment, and he rejected the caste system. Finally, mystery. The Brahmins had claimed they had fathomed the unfathomable. The Buddha rather thought that the finite human mind cannot fathom the infinite. And this filters through to Buddhist teaching today, that the ultimate is ineffable. It's beyond our understanding. What is nirvana? What is nibbana? we just don't know, would be one of the things he would say. He wanted a religion devoid of any form of the supernatural. He condemned divination and soothsaying. Interestingly, though, he did not deny its existence. He thought the human mind had paranormal powers, but he refused to let his monks have any part of it, to play with it. He said, "By this you shall know a man is not my disciple, that he tries to work a miracle." He thought any of these kind of things he thought would be a distraction from the hard work to advance oneself towards enlightenment. So in the last of these context videos of religion, we'll look at the 4 different groups that make up this Shamanara group.